series. Now, guys, I want to go, before we wrap, to series predictions. And I haven't thought a ton about mine, but I want to start with you guys. Shaun, what do you think?
So people keep telling me be humble. So the humble version of me says Knicks in 5. I've got Knicks in 5. I've got no more than 5. I honestly think it could possibly be a sweep, but I do understand that Jimmy Butler is a very great player who gets a very favorable whistle. I do understand that Eric Spoelstra is a very good coach with a lot of experience. And so maybe they get one of those games in Miami, even though that's kind of a home game for us as well, as somebody who's been in that building. It's very blue and orange in there when the Knicks come to town. So, but I think no more than 5 games. So I'm going to go Knicks in 5 again.
I like it. That's like that. That's the humble one. So the unhumble one will obviously be a sweep. You're feeling good right now, Shaun. I get it. Fred, what about you?
Well, my most important prediction is that Mark Berman is going to show up and cover the series for the Palm Beach Post.
Yes, please.
That's all we need.
I need him in the locker room. Forget covering it. I need him in the Knicks locker room. I need it.
I'm assuming the listeners know Berman because everybody knows Berman, and because he's been on this show many a time, and because he only in our group chats refers to it as the Putback.
Fred, there were comments. There were comments from people on YouTube saying, "Where's Berman? Where's he on the episode?" So people are aware.
There you go. No, there we go. Mark. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, people should know that the players still talk about Berman all the time.
Yeah, almost daily, and tips too.
Almost daily. It's extraordinary. It's unbelievable. The mark, no pun intended, that he left. I am going to pick the Knicks. I think I'm leaning Knicks in 6, even though you normally don't pick the closeout game on the road. But the Knicks just showed that they have no problem closing out a series on the road. And also, like, Berman is not the only retiree from New York to Florida. Like, they're going to get a lot of New Yorkers at those games in Miami. They do for games that don't matter. You know, the New Yorkers are going to be showing up.
True.
I don't think it's going to feel totally like a road playoff game. And I just, 5 feels too short. I think Miami is too well coached. I think Jimmy Butler's too good. We just saw him drop 98 points in 48 hours. Like, I don't see him. He's averaging 38 points a game in the playoffs. Like, I just don't see him. Like, I don't know if he's going to continue to do that, but I just don't see him going out quiet. I don't see that team going out quiet, but I think the Knicks will find ways to exploit the guys who are exploitable. One X factor, by the way, who we haven't really talked about, is Kevin Love. Love was a problem for them in the regular season this year. Like, even when he was with Cleveland, they struggled at, and that's an element that Cleveland did not have, ironically, that Cleveland didn't have, which is a stretch big. And that can change the element, specifically with these like little screening actions where Love would screen and pop to the wing. He had one game where he had 8 threes against the Knicks earlier in the year, game in Cleveland. And even in Miami, he was getting open some. It's going to be really interesting to see how they load up on him. But I just think the Knicks are a lot deeper than Miami right now. You know, they've really got like a few two-way players with their 2 stars and Caleb Martin. So I'm going to say the Knicks, also assuming that Julius Randle is able to look somewhat like himself at some point during the series.
Okay, there it is. Well, my first prediction quickly will be that no Knick punches a fire extinguisher and has to get stitches in their hand and misses time in this series. That's my first prediction. And then number 2, I think if Randall's healthy, the Knicks win in 7. I think the offensive rebounding edge has to be there for them. I don't think it's going to be there to the degree it was against Cleveland, but it has to be there for them to be successful in this series. I think it will be enough, and I think they will get through to the conference finals.